Hello Ballywatt ladies, I hope you're all keeping well. I've been asked by the PW just to come and share something with you. As you know, I spend most of my time baking now, and so I'm just going to put a wee bit of a Christmas cake together and give you a wee chat with it as well. So the first thing I'm going to put in is the flour, and obviously with sugar and like that, and to sort of refine it and take any lumps out of it. Now, when I was making loads of Christmas cakes, I was thinking about different things, but one of the things I was thinking about is how some of the ingredients you wouldn't dream of eating on their own. Like, nobody would take a spoonful of flour and just eat it, because it wouldn't be very nice. Or butter, much and all as I like butter, I certainly wouldn't take a cube and eat it. So we put the butter in, and this is the sugar. So this reminds me sometimes of the sweet things that happen. And then we're going to put in some spices. Again, something that you wouldn't eat on its own. So we're just going to put a wee bit of spice in each of those. And our black treacle. Look how dark it is. That sort of reminds me about the dark times in our lives whenever we have difficulties and our life seems very, very hard. And whenever we're, see how sticky it is? Whenever we look at this and you're putting all the ingredients together, it looks a mess. And that sometimes can be a bit like our lives. We can have problems in our lives and we can think, why has God deserted me? Why are things not running smoothly? And so we're thinking about a Christmas cake here. I think of Mary whenever she was about to give birth. I know what the rest of us like. You'd like to be super organised and know what was going to happen. But there was Mary at the last minute, told that she had to go off to a foreign land, and she gave birth to Jesus in a field or a shed. We don't exactly know, it doesn't say in the Bible, but certainly wasn't somewhere that she was probably prepared for. So that was difficult. But Jesus was born in that stable to show his humility, and sometimes in life things happen really so that we can have empathy with others, I think. So anyway, we mix this all together. We'd add in our ground almonds, which I could eat, and that's a bit like life. There's sometimes that you could just sit and nibble at sweet bits. There's always sweet bits in our lives, as well as the fruit. These represent the good times in our lives that we should be celebrating. Now, when we mix this all together, we can't see the full picture, and that's a bit like heaven. You know, when bad things have happened in our lives, things that you don't understand, you can't see the full picture, but of course God can see the full picture. So we're going to now just pretend I have baked this, and we're going to go to the finished article. I'm going to show you a couple of wee cakes that I have done already. So this is just 3 wee cakes that I have decorated. You can see the little snowman, and a little smaller one here, wee trees, and then a very traditional one. So when icing the cakes then, and once you've got your cake done, you sort of have 3 different layers in your Christmas cake. So you have your Christmas cake, you have your marzipan, and then you have your icing. And to me that really represents the 3 sort of stages we have in life. So some of our ladies in Ballywatt are young and have young children, and they're busy all the time, and that's like mixing together different times, and they're working, and all those things seem really busy to them, and that's really the stage of life that they're at. Whereas I'm sort of the marzipan stage, where my children have left, I have a bit more independence, and God has given me another season in life. And then there are the ladies who are a wee bit more mature in our church, and they are the icing. And they're the top coat. And I know that I have learnt a lot from the godly women in Ballywatt, So maybe if you're older and isolating, maybe on your own, and you think that nobody cares for you, or you're struggling, just remember how much you can do for God as a prayer warrior, and how much you're valued in our Ballywatt congregation. You are the icing on the cake, and you are treasured. Now again, we've got 3 different sizes here. So this represents to me the 70 years that God has given us. God has promised to give us 70 years, and that's what this one represents. Whereas this one is a little bit larger, and that's for those ladies who all have been blessed with more years. But we have a little smaller one here, and this represents, the smaller lives that have passed away. None of us know when the Lord's going to call us home. And we all know how to prepare. We know how to ask Jesus into our heart to save us, because, we may have been blessed with a very short life, and Mur and I know that, with wee Mark passing away at 6 weeks. So nobody is guaranteed the 70 years, but it says you may have 70 years, but you may be blessed with the more years. So ladies, over the Christmas season, just remember that God loves you, and that really Christmas is just the beginning of faith. I used to teach in Sunday school that Christmas is only the start of the story, but what a wonderful story it is. And for some people it's a difficult season because of those that have lost loved ones. But I'm just going to read you a wee verse here, and for those that are maybe anxious with these coronavirus that's going around, none of us know the plans we have, but looking down from below this cake, if you look down below, the mixture would be all mixed up, and that's what we're looking up at, that mixture of the cake that's all doesn't really make sense. But from heaven, God is looking down at the beautiful creation that you are, and the finished work that you are. And we, when we lost Mark, it's difficult to losing a child, but we just have to hold on to the faith that God has a plan for each one of us, and that we are told, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And a peace that transcends all understanding will guard your heart, your minds in Christ. And I'm sure we've all experienced people praying for us, and that peace that we have. So thank you to all the Ballywatt ladies who have been praying over the years for us. And I know that my prayer triplet girls, Valerie and Phyllis, have been praying for you, and we will continue to do so. So just want to wish you a Merry Christmas.